Every time we try to record a whole song, we face a certain conundrum, and this conundrum in the MOAB term is elephant or me. Why is it elephant or me? You may remember the phrase, how do you eat a whole elephant? By eating it slice by slice or piece by piece. It's been exactly 1 month since I started this channel. Thank you so much for your support, for a lot of feedback, thousands of views across the shorts and the videos. One helpful piece of feedback was that many of you want to know how exactly to do what I'm talking about. How do you make music on a budget? This time around we're going to look at a simple song I wrote many years ago. We're going to check how to record it, first on our own, then to bring in gig musicians. We're going to learn how to, well, ask and guide these musicians to play what we want to hear. And then we're going to look at how do we cut it all down and how do we mix it, at least in my case, if I'm not careful to really pace myself eating the elephant slice by slice, I will get swallowed whole. This song started out as a very simple construction. I wrote it for a wake. To be able to perform it at this wake, I just had it recorded on guitar by a friend of mine. Let's take a listen. So you can see it's rather simple. C major being the tonal center of the whole piece. After many years I came back to it. So I recorded the first version on a Rhodes, just the piano track as a skeleton, you know, as a lead track. And then I did something which was, well, unrelated to the whole story, but this is why we have this light, right? I got myself one of these. This is a super space drum. I think I was just listening to Ring My Bell, you know, this, which is a classic, you can go listen to it, which has a very specific sound as a signature, you know, as a signature hook, was like, pew, 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 you know, and this is a sound that appears all the time in disco music, 70s music. For example, Donna Summer's MacArthur Park, which is batshit crazy. So I was just, I don't know, I was just interested. And this is the first thing I ever bought, and hopefully the last, because I don't want to clog up my desk with these kinds of things. It actually sounds like this. So I did build a groove around the sound of this super space drum. It's a bit like a tom-tom sound, you know, with a high tom, a low tom, maybe comparable to a Manu Katché groove of the 90s, you know. Something like this. I did put another sampled drum machine sound on there. Having done that, a funny thing happened. I gave it to the friend of mine who I'm, you know, working with, who is mixing the songs, and I do trust him very much. And he was listening to it and he was saying, okay, it sounds very retro 80s, but not in a good way. Okay, message received. I decided to go back to the rehearsal room I am using to just, you know, use their drum set and record drums or sometimes piano with a little stereo microphone I can plug directly into my iPad. I had this idea in my head that I wanted to start with a reggae groove that then transforms into more of a rocky halftime kind of feel. I did record it. The one problem, and I had to relearn this because you may remember I only started, you know, to pick up drums again after a very long break, that if you play on your own to a track, you know, to a guitar track or to a bass track or to a piano track in this case, I really tend to overplay because there's so much room if there's just one other instrument, and I'm doing too much. And I also did too much this time, you know, playing side stick and doing all kinds of things. So in the end, we actually did have to go through the, well, stereo track with the drums on it and take out some pieces here and there, which actually worked quite nicely to make it a bit more, to make it breathe more, because I was just doing too much. There's one fun thing about the drums I wanted to mention, which is that you may have heard the song is around 53, you know, halftime, and it's a bit slow, and it's also, the lyrics are very bleak and a bit depressing. So I really wanted to change the feel and the energy level towards the last part of the song when we go into more of a, well, swampy kind of rock feel. Let me play you the part I'm talking about. So we're coming out of the bridge and there's a drum fill, and then we're going into the last, repeated chorus that then goes into a fade out. Okay, did you catch it? What happened? Was it clear? Let me help you. So basically, we are switching the tempo because we end the bridge on 53, but after the drum fill, we're actually continuing with a totally different BPM of 79. How did we get there? It's something called metric modulation. Some of you may know it. It isn't really that hard, but it's a great way to not just say, okay, let's just play faster, because that is, for me at least, there's a bit of a problem if you want to, lead into it with some kind of drum fill. You may have encountered it a few years back when there was a flurry of drummer videos that were playing to the song Everybody Wants to Rule the World, but they didn't play it in the correct tempo. They changed the metric center of the song, and it sounded very trippy. Maybe I'm going to link to one of these videos in the description box. It is a nifty little trick, and it's not really that hard because you're going from 53 to 79 just after the drum break. We're going to start with 53, the meter that we have been hearing all along. Then I'm going to start to play triplets over it. And then I'm going to change the grouping of these triplets into quadruplets. So it's the same speed, but the accent is just different. You will get it once I'm doing it. Okay, here we go. You see? So basically, at the end, we ended up on the new beat, which is 79. Actually, I'm getting ahead of myself a bit, but there is a little Easter egg. If you listen to the final song, you will hear a little, like a distorted guitar note, like wah, 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 that is indicating the switch before we actually do it, because it plays these kind of triplets. So this is all the time we have for now. Next time on Elephant or Me, we will look at working with a gig musician from the internet, in this case a bassist, to construct a very, very tight groove foundation for this song. Drop me a sub if you don't want to miss the next installment. Keep creating and keep sharing. See you next time on the channel.